My favorite part about traveling is all the places we get to see, like seeing places that you've always seen on TV or known about, like the famous landmarks, getting to go see them in person. And for me, I love the adventure of travel.
I think getting to see a lot of landmarks and just getting to learn a lot about history.
I love being able to see places that I've never seen before, especially ones that are tied to history, and it helps it just like kind of come alive more for me and cement it in. The other thing that I love is as you travel the world and you get to see different animals, different things, habitats that are only in those specific areas. Even like the beaches are different here in Long Island. So I just think that's fascinating to see that the world's bigger than my backyard that I was used to, and that there's a lot of people out there, and it's just a cool opportunity to get to meet them, see them, and see how they live.
I think my favorite part about it is being able to explore and just try new things, but I also really enjoy the time with family.
Go bye-bye and see some animals, mingoes, and mingoes.
I think the hardest part is that we have 5 of us. We have a bunch of stuff. We have to pack up into one place, unpack, move to the next place, pack up, move to the next place. It's a lot to like move around.
I think just how we're always on the move and we don't get a lot of time to just kind of chill and relax.
As the mom, I am the keeper of the things as well as the planner of the food and all that. So knowing how much food can I buy for this length of stay, what do we need, how do I then pack it up when we are leaving. So in my mind, everything I see, it ticks through my head of how to pack it, where to pack it, do I have to pack it.
It's hard when transitioning to new different houses. You're like, so where is this one strainer, for example? Or, it's hard to settle into different places, and since we move a lot, we have that a lot, so it's sometimes challenging to do that.
Oh, what do I miss the most? Probably just having our own space. Like, I miss, our own bed and just the comfort of everything that's familiar and all of our own space.
Family and friends.
I miss people the most, of just being able to have a good deep hug with someone besides my 4 wonderful family members.
Definitely friends and family, and just like our own house and like all of our stuff. Not all of it, but I miss some of my stuff at home that we left.
My cat. Yeah, and I miss him so much.
There have been so many good ones. I think that my top one probably is the cliff walk at Newport, Rhode Island. It was just the most beautiful shoreline I think I've ever walked. Beautiful scenery, and it was fun just because I've really enjoyed us as a family getting to do a lot of walking and outdoor excursions. And I didn't know what to expect with that one, but it just really exceeded my expectations. I will add that I also just loved so many of them. I mean, all the iconic New York spots were great. I loved Vermont and New Hampshire exceeded my expectations just in terms of the majestic mountainous views that people don't necessarily think of when it comes to places other than going out west for the mountains and things like that. So anyway, lots of great spaces.
I think Rhode Island, which was a cliff walk, and I really liked South Carolina, which was Pickney Island.
My favorite point of interest is the Statue of Liberty, partly because someone had told me about it, and I think I had just looked forward to the experience and the opportunity to go up into the crown, and that was also just the most fascinating and one of the places I learned the most, because to discovering how long it took to like build it, how long it was an idea, just really even taught me like perseverance, go after something. If you want it to be big and lasting, it might take a while.
I really loved the cliff walk at Rhode Island. It was very fun, scenic, and I really enjoyed it. But I also really liked the point of interest for Vermont, which was Lake Willoughby. It was hiking, and then we got to look out on this beautiful lake, so that was really fun.
Ooh, favorite state besides Indiana? I'll go with like that we've visited so far. Wow, that is like really hard to answer. My favorite state that we visited so far. I almost can't even answer that. Although I have to give multiple. I love Virginia. Like, it's beautiful, mountainous. We have family there. You have beaches, you know, wonderful. I actually love New York because I love the city and it's got so much variety. Like, you can have, you know, upstate, mountains, Long Island, all the New York iconic landmarks and all of that. So definitely that. I'm hopeful that Maine will be amazing and that maybe that will top them all. Also, I will say visiting Boston exceeded our expectations. It was a beautiful city. It was clean. It was fun, family friendly. So that's my non-answer.
I really liked Massachusetts, and Vermont was very fun.
I mean, Florida. But I know we didn't go there in this most recent rendezvous, but I still love heat and sun and a little side of Disney.
I really love Virginia. I love Florida because there's Disney. But I also really like Vermont. I think I just love the mountains and the scenery and the snow. So, yeah.
Let's run.
Oh, okay. If I could go back, what would I not do again? Okay, if I could go back and not do something, nothing comes to mind. Like, I love, I just enjoy all of the different excursions. There's probably something that I could go back and say, like, oh, that wasn't the best. But realistically, like, I love exploring and like doing new things. So nothing comes to mind as something that I wish we would have skipped.
There were definitely some points in New York City that were really overwhelming, so I think probably that.
I would be more selective about some places that we stayed and maybe even try and line things up so we weren't like jumping from a hotel here and a hotel there. But with travel, it's kind of hard not to do that. But that was some of the hardest things. So some of the things I would love to not do again would mostly be not move houses so many times, because we have been, since we left at the end of July, 13 different houses.
I think there are a couple things here and there that I'm like, that wasn't really worth it. But probably some like just quick trips to New York City were just very stressful. I'm just not really a big city person, so that just wasn't quite enjoyable.
Run.
If I could do anything again, like I said, the cliff walk at Rhode Island was potentially my favorite. I would love to do that again. And I think for me, like spending more time in New York City, there are just so many attractions that you just can hardly get them all in. So I would like to have another go at getting some more of New York City in. I would love to do another Broadway show. We only took in one, and I'd love to see more.
Probably the cliff walk in Rhode Island.
I would do the fun hikes, the time spent with family. I would totally do Dulce and Ciabatta again earlier in our stay at Leesburg. And I really enjoyed our different history excursions.
Definitely the cliff walk in Rhode Island and our stop at Vermont. And I do think South Carolina was really fun. So yeah.
Chill.
Oh, our funniest memory so far. I feel like we've had some good laughs. I just have to remember what they were. Some of our times of just like, sitting around the dinner table reflecting on the day, and somebody will say something silly or Reggie will make us laugh. Man, I'm trying to think of what a funny, anything that's actually happened. I can't think of a particular scenario.
One time when we went to Washington, D.C., Corabelle forgot shoes.
Okay, one of the funniest things to me was a little miscommunication about laundry. I left and I asked Corabelle to take the clothes out of the washer and put them in the dryer because we were getting our laundry done up before we needed to move to the next house. I went on a date with Livy, and so she got there, she opened the dryer, she saw that they were still wet, and she wanted to restart it. So she texts me, Mom, how do I start the dryer? I said, go ask Dad. She goes and asks Dad. He comes, I get another text later, they got it figured out, they got the dryer started. So I get home, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go get these clothes out of the dryer. I go down there and like nothing, like the clothes are still in the washer. And I'm like, why didn't you put the clothes in the washer or in the dryer? And they're like, well, there was stuff in the dryer that was still wet. I need to restart it. So come to find out that Mike and Corabelle both thought that the washer was the dryer. They even reread the rinse somehow, and they started again. So those clothes, instead of getting dried, got washed a second time.
Reggie loves to run around the house with only her underwear on, so she loves to call herself the Naked Baby. And so she will say, can I be Naked Baby? So we'll sometimes say yes, And so one time when we're climbing the rocky steps, she sees some guy who's like running up and down them with no shirt on, and she goes, there's a Naked Baby. And so we just cracked up on that, so that was really funny.
Lily.